W1VLF. Hey everybody, my name is Paul and W1VLF, thanks for coming back and visiting me here in the lab. Been away for about a month and a half now, and was in Florida for work for about a week, so that took away time, and man, I got hit with the flu. I'm telling you, I've never been hit with anything like that before in my life. I was in bed for about a week and a half, literally couldn't move. It felt like you were standing in front of one of these fastball pitching machines, constantly getting hit in the head, in the stomach, and oh my God, it was really horrible. But anyway, so that took about 2 whole weeks out of my life where I couldn't really do videos or anything for that matter. And but now I'm back, feeling a hell of a lot better, and I think I will take my wife's advice and get the flu shot next year. Been kind of putting that off for a long time. The other thing is, I'm not sure I'm going to remember how to do this. I got a cheat sheet here, which I don't usually have to use because I just kind of blab it all out. But anyway, so I thought I would try something a little bit easier today. So we're going to take the camera outside in the back and look at the W1VLF antenna farm, or what used to be the W1VLF antenna farm, and what hopefully will be the W1VLF farm back again. But I'll give you that story when we get outside. I wanted to talk about some upcoming videos, should I not get hit with the flu again. I want to do a comparison. A good friend has allowed me to borrow his RSP-DX. And if you remember a while back, I did a video between well, the effects of the of an external high-pass filter and how much better reception was when you're running a large antenna on the RSP on the RSP series. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. Not exactly sure the order of these videos, but they're going to be coming up. The other thing I want to try is I have some very specific noises here throughout the HF band, and I'm going to be trying the noise cancellation time wave device, the ANC4. And I've done some preliminary experiments with that, and results look pretty good. So I think I might do a quick video and share that with you guys. It might really help some people out. The other thing I want to try is some DIY near-field loops. I use these all the time in my normal work and experimenting around here. These are very, very small, fairly well-balanced loops, and they help you locate noise, the origin of noise, you know, and specifically sometime down to the component level. We won't do that, but we will be able to find out what devices are making noise. So that's another one I want to do. I know there's about 100 open wire feed videos on YouTube, but I want to do one of those. It's very simple to make. I hear lots and lots of guys using the ribbon cable, and I've tried that in the past. It gets wet and tuning changes, not really a great way to go in my opinion. So I'll show you how I made mine. It's similar to how others have, but I got a few little things that make it easier. So that's down the road a little ways when we get some good weather, so I can do it outside. By the way, it's 46 degrees here right now at noon. And the other morning at 9 o'clock it was 1 degree. So things are all over the place as far as temperature goes. And then 2 other videos that I want to do, which I think were a lot of fun. Of course, I can't do any of them because my antennas are all down. So these will be further into the season. And that is a video on airplane scatter, something I've been kind of messing around with for 4 or 5 years. It's interesting. I don't know if you guys will be able to do anything with it or even want to do anything with it, but using the HF Discovery, well, I guess it's just the Discovery, right? The AirSpy Discovery. Using that receiver and the very high sampling rates, that's probably not the right word. data point rates. You can see some really interesting things. That's coming up. And also a viewer, Gene, requested, wanted to know if I would still be willing to build him a WWVB antenna. And the WWVB antenna, stand by. I forgot to bring it out here. I'm just going to grab, I have something on the shelf that looks the form factor anyway. Stand by. Okay. So the WWVB antenna, it uses our best friend PVC pipe, a single PVC T, and there's a screw connection in here, screw-on PVC connection that really allows you to bring your coax up this tube, screw it into the bottom of the antenna, and then screw this piece in. And of course, there's caps on here, and this looks like it's empty, right? Well, and it is, because this is just part of it. And allows you to mount this thing outside, find a proper direction for best noise, best signal, and it's completely waterproof, easy to mount, and your coax will come out the bottom. So that's one video, and I'll be making that. I'll show you what goes into that, the ferrite, how I wind the turns, how many turns, and all the dimensions and that sort of stuff. So right now I'm going to take the camera outside, and it's kind of depressing for me to go out there because all winter long, every antenna I have, besides the one open wire fed dipole, has been laying on the ground. So if I if you hear me crying in the background while I'm talking, it's because it's been such a sad winter. So with that, I'm going to head outside, and we'll go over what antennas I had, what I have. Oh, I got some pictures too, some before and afters, and some durings of antennas coming down. I don't know, maybe you'll like that, maybe you won't. I always like watching tower constructions and things like that. So with that, 73 for the moment, and I'll pick you up outside. All right, we're outside in the backyard, about 250 feet away from the tower right now. I'm going to zoom in, and that's what I call the saddest sight in the world. 130 feet of Rohn 55 with nothing on top. Had a little mishap here with the tower crew, a little miscalculation, and I'll show you what happened. So I'm going to zoom back out to give you an idea. There's the tower. Oh, some solar panel array over on one side of the house. And right now I'm going to shut off. I'll be back in a second. We'll take a look at the only antenna up there, which is the ladder line fed 300-foot dipole. Okay, well, we're over by the deck, which the ladder line is supported by. And I gotta tell you, the viewfinder in this camera is horrible, because I can't see a damn thing as what I'm looking at. So I'm going to try to zoom in here a little bit. I think I'm going to try to zoom in. This is about 175 feet away, so there's roughly 200 or so feet of open wire feed. Try to get a little bit closer in. And it goes to that side arm there. Everything had to come off the tower, and that's why the ladder line looks very haphazard, because it was put back up in a hurry. That side arm has a pulley on the top of it where I can lower the dipole, but during the tower work there was it really didn't get put back properly. I pulled it up there just so I could have something to listen to. So we're going to take a walk over by the tower now, and I'll be back. Alright, we're at the base of the tower right now, and I'm going to slowly go up the tower with the camera, and let's see if this works. Up we go. Now, my God, you really can't see the viewfinder. I think I'll back away from it a little bit and try to get you another better shot. But it's basically, this is a Rohn 55 tower, 129 feet tall, and every nut and bolt that you see here was installed by yours truly, W1 VLF, back in the days when W1 VLF could actually do this kind of work. Between the gin pole, my trusty Cub Cadet tractor, and about 50 runs up and down the tower, I was able to get this whole thing installed myself. It took about a month, doing it every night after work. And I got pretty comfortable up there. All right, I'm going to shut off and we'll be right back. Okay, probably 100 feet away with the sun to my back makes it, in the trees here. I'm in the trees and they're kind of shading me, so go up a little bit. The guy wires are at 30 feet. Can't really see the 30-foot one. Let me zoom in. Can we? No, the 30-foot one is hidden pretty well. 60 feet. And the first real good guy ring, that guy ring there at 90 feet. So the top set of guys and this set of guys are both using the Rohn star rings. Let me tell you, those things weigh about 65 pounds apiece, and it was quite a challenge getting them up there. Let's see if I can get a reasonably stable look. I don't know if the camera's focusing or not, but there's the top star ring, the side arm, and the guy wires going down. So that's a look at the tower. I'm going to intersperse in here some pictures of what was up there before, and eventually what is going up there. I think we're going to walk over and show you the mast that bent during the installation of one of the antennas. And let's go find that right now. So here's the 2-inch mast that held all the antennas that were on the tower, and it looks pretty stable, doesn't it? Until you get up to this point and you find out that there's about a 45-degree curve in that piece. And what happened here is the H-frame of 2-meter antennas, which are mounted right here now, needed quite a bit of lateral thrust and kind of a miscalculation on the tower guy part, because they were using that as the gin pole, and halfway up the pole started to bend. There were 2 guys on the tower at the time. Thank God nobody got hurt, but they were able to very carefully lower the array back down, and no one got hurt. Thank God for that. So unfortunately, there was that was the mast that came out of the top of this tower that supported a bunch of antennas. I'm going to walk over to oh, by the way, this is the W1 VLF antenna storage / pistol range. And let me just move over to the side here real quick. And I don't know if I can, I wish this was better. And there's the 100-yard range out there. Alright, so we're going to move over to the antennas that were on this tower. Some of them are gone. But here's a 7-element made by JK Antenna in Danbury, Connecticut for 6 meters. That was the bottom antenna. You'll be able to see this when I show you the pictures. Antenna performed absolutely wonderfully. I had lots of great DX, 500-mile range on a regular basis, By the way, this tower, the base of this tower is at about 1,000 feet elevation, perhaps just a little bit more, which is the highest point for probably a mile in any direction. But then when you get up to there, you can see in most directions out to 20 miles, in some directions out to 40 and beyond. So this is a really great VHF location. So back over to the 6-meter beam. So I'm not sure if that's going to be going up again or not, but perhaps. The other antenna that is going back up, definitely, is a 16-element homebrew log periodic that I made. I used to sell these antennas, 8-footers anyway. I made a 16-element because at the top of the tower I really wanted to be able to reach out. And the pattern is very clean. Most FM frequency allocations here will yield, except for the ones that are, you know, very, very local to me within 20 miles, those will yield at least 3 separate stations and 3 compass points, and there are many multiples that will yield at least 5 stations. So it's a lot of fun to go DXing with this antenna. I'll give you a quick close-up of this. It's a 2-inch booms, 2 booms. The booms are isolated because in the case of a log periodic, the antenna is a feed line. The booms are a feed line. So you can see the mast clamp here is isolated with a piece of, I don't know, what is that, like greater, maybe 9/16 thick polycarbonate. Everything's stainless. The booms are 60-63, but the elements are 60-61. They're threaded. They go through the boom. And of course it's spaced each, you know, in all the locations so that the feed line remains, the boom / feed line remains at the same impedance. And you can see how the element goes through and then it's nylocked off on the other side. Grab another quick look down the antenna. So that's going back up. And I guess we'll take a walk over to oh, sorry, just had to add this in, the pistol plates. I do a lot of air rifle here too. Main shooting position is right off the deck. I don't know, sometimes hams and shooting go together. Maybe this turns off a whole bunch of people. I don't know. But I thought I'd throw that in there. That's the other thing. That deck is brand new, so that meant all the feed lines that went under the deck had to be pulled out, and it was a real mess. So I'm waiting for spring to be whole again. Let's move around to the H-frame here. So these antennas are the K1FOs, 12 element beams. And there's 4 of them in essentially a 12-foot cube. And this is what caused all the havoc on the tower, having to need an awful lot of lateral thrust to pull these antennas away from the tower. Let's see. Here's number 3. And number 4. The array weighs around 100 pounds with that mast, that middle mast, and the feed lines. Here is the power divider. And everything is kind of ready to go, but it's not ready to go. So it's sitting here on my old satellite TV mount, just mounted in place and tied off, so hopefully when spring comes we can get this antenna array back up again. Here's that mast again, to give you an idea. I don't know, you know, it took a long time to build those antennas and build the H-frame and square it up, and then to see that thing starting to slide down the tower because the mast is bending. I just thank God that the mast didn't break in half. It's doubled in the middle, right here. It's doubled actually most of the way up, but the side forces were just too much. So there's a new mast over here. This one is a little bit thicker, and I may actually even incorporate another mast inside of this. This is a 2-inch wall, 2 inches in diameter with a 1/4-inch wall. Yeah, let's see if we can do a shot up the tower here. I don't know, I hope the camera focused. I'm going to take a walk out into the woods and show you some of the antennas out there, and that'll be the end of the video. It's a little walk, so I'm going to shut down. I'll be back. Okay, this is the 300 kilohertz and down antenna. It's let's see, each one of those side arms are 8 feet long, so 16 feet, and 16 feet from top to bottom and left to right. And there's 10 turns there taped together, and then you can see those little strings in the middle. Those keep the tension on those turns pulled in. There's a spring. Actually, it's a cheesy old bungee cord, but it keeps it very, very tense, so nothing moves. And this is pointed out to the northwest. This is my WWVB and lower antenna, and I can easily just rotate that on the mast. That holds it above the ground. That's nice because I can come out here with the right capacitor to make it resonate at all the way down to 10 kilohertz if need be. And the other antenna I have that goes northeast southwest is just simply 2 turns. And the other thing is, things are always in motion here. For instance, I am now running Cat 5 cable. As you can see there, look at that rust, huh? Whew. There's a 1-to-1 transformer there for balancing and isolation here on the back. And this is simply just 2 turns. I don't know, maybe 40 feet long and 10 feet high, pointed northwest. Don't use any tuning at all. It's very remote from the house. There's no loss in the feed line really to speak of. And you also, that's the beauty of running balanced feed line. The antenna is balanced. There's a isolation transformer there, balanced feed line in the house, and a transformer there, and you have 3 other pairs. These are really gooey because this is that flooded cable. Hopefully when I get some time I will try to neaten this all up with a box and then bring my other antenna, the 60 kilohertz, the 300 kilohertz and down antenna, all of them both in on the Cat 5 cable. Where am I? There I am. And that used to be a vertical I used a long time ago. And of course, the active vertical. So I guess I'm going to head back towards the house, and if there's anything else that I think it might be of even slight interest, I have a lot of memory in this camera, so I'll grab it. So W1VLF signing off for the moment. By the way, a lot of the common mode noise problems propagating out to this antenna, which I did a video on common mode chokes. With this antenna balanced the way it is, The common mode issue is almost non-existent. It's all a matter of, I guess, good balance. So I have no common mode chokes in this antenna system anymore. It's not coax fed, so that's something to really consider if you're going to put a remote antenna out. Quick shot back towards the house, about 400 feet away. Really makes it nice and quiet out here. And not letting any noise propagate out to the antenna makes it even quieter. So I'm really have settled on no more coax and bringing all antennas back on a balanced. Loops are inherently balanced, or should be. So, and that's what I use mostly out here. I think if I bring the active antenna back online, I think I will make it work through the balanced feed line as well. That's the other thing. Let me just go back here real quick. The other thing is, if you want to have a tuned antenna out here in the field, and which this is not, so it's not resonant anywhere. At least I haven't. I mean, it's resonant somewhere, but two of these wires could be used to run a small gear motor to resonate this antenna. So that's another advantage of running this Cat 5 out. Just thought I would mention that. Just one final look at the main tower here. Can't you just hear that thing screaming how lonely it is? It needs antennas. Okay, so we're over at the one of the guy anchors. There's only one guy here, and that guy's the 30-foot level. This tower was 85 feet when I originally put it up. Then I took it down and went to 129. So this was the original guy point. There was an equalizer plate here, and all the guys were at this point. We'll move over to the outer guy right now, and that's over here. It's guided at about 80%, so that means that this one is about 100 feet out. And oops, let me get out of the sun there. That's the equalizer plate, so that the pull from all the different guy wires equalizes on the anchor rod itself. And let me tell you, digging these holes was a lot of fun. So you have two guys for 120, two guys at the 90-foot mark. These are the ones that go to both sides of those triangles, and those things really keep the top of the tower from torquing. Here's an interesting shot. Let's see if I can do this. And I'm not sure how good that's coming out. I can't see a damn thing. Well, I just have to hope that it worked. Oh yeah, here's an interesting thing. Did you see anything like this? Two pulleys on a rope. This arrangement will allow you, one man, to pull up as much as a 40-meter dipole without ever leaving the ground. And someday, hopefully, I can do a video on that and show you how that works. You have to do a lot of running back and forth between the anchors, but man, you can get a 20-meter dipole, you can get up about 80 feet without any problem. The 40-meter, maybe about 60 feet up, and you never have to have your feet leave the ground. I wanted to show you one more thing. This is the shot. This is the part about the tower that my wife really likes the best. Let me just zoom in. Wow, get a little shaky when you're zoomed in that far. But yeah, I would say by far, every night when my wife comes home from work, this is what she sees, and she says, honey, I just love the way that tower sticks up in back of our house. W1 VLF. Okay, so here is the original tower with the two 15-element Cushcraft antennas up on top, the FM broadcast 16-element broadcast antenna, and then the 6-meter 7-element beam. That's what it used to look like. To give you an idea, those two 2-meter antennas on top are 15 feet long each one. The FM broadcast antenna is 16 feet long, and the 6-meter antenna at the very bottom is 30 feet long. Just a quick stationary view looking up the side of the tower. And a little bit better view of that guy point, showing the equalizer plate and the guy wires taking off.